Hello guys, welcome back to Wincon Ready. Today we got a DechTech video. We're talking about a classic commander you used to play in cEDH. Hopefully it's coming back. It's the Lord Urza. So actual name is Urza the Lord High Artificer. So I want to keep the video short. So I want to give you as much information as possible in a short time. And actually, let's go start into it, right? What we have? You want to see what Urza do? He does a lot of things.
I fucked that. Bro.
So he has one ability. Whenever Urza High, whatever, comes into play battlefield, create a 0/0 colorless construct. And which says this creature has gets 1+1 for each artifact you control. Very good. The second ability is tap an artifact you control at 1 blue. The third ability is pay 5. Shuffle your library, then exile a tap card. At the end of turn, you may play that card without paying mana cost. So, what is our game plan? So what we need to do? We need to create infinite mana. This is basically really easy to do with Urza, especially also with blue, with the Isochron Scepter, and these are other ways to create infinite mana. Because we're trying to play a lot of artifacts with less CMCs to have them on the battlefield to create blue mana. That's the key. It creates blue mana, not colorless, blue. So I don't want to waffle around. Let's go see what the other cards do, what we have inside. So we have 2 Planeswalker, we have the new Tezzeret, and the old Tezzeret. The new one is really cool. I like this one as well. It costs only 3 for 0. You can untap a target artifact or creature. If it's a creature, it gets a 1+1 count on it. If you -3 it, as you see, you can search your library for, I think, an artifact card with mana value 1 or less, and then it comes back into your hand. We won't put it on the battlefield. The 7 ability is just random, so you don't need that. The other one, the Tezzeret, the Seeker, so you +1, you can untap up to 2 target artifacts. And then another one is the tutor ability, -X, search your library for an artifact card with converted mana cost X or less, that's the beauty of it, and put it on the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. The 5th also doesn't matter, so actually the X, but we'll come later to that. Let's go to the creatures. So we got the creatures. We have the Battered Golem. You will think, what's the Battered Golem? I was at the beginning, was that why people playing this? Kind of figure it out. We will get back to it later. So, but he's one of our part Wincons, draw engines, call it whatever you want. So then we have the people, most of you the consequence thing. We need a draw engine as well. Then our artifact should cost less. So we have the Ethereum Sculpture, Fairy Mastermind, also card engine. Also, we'll get back to later on. The Forensic Gadgeteer. This is one of my favorites from the not new set, but set of thing of this. Was it the Call of Mana, whatever what it was this year, I think. This is actually quite an interesting card. So it costs you 3 for a 2/3. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, Investigate, which means create a clue token. You can tap it for 2 and you can draw. But we need all the artifacts. Clue token is artifact, so in Urza you can produce mana with it. So the second ability is, static ability, whatever you want to call it. Activate abilities of artifacts you control cost 1 less to activate. This effect can reduce the mana in that cost is less than 1 mana. Also, we'll come back to a combo later on as well. Then the Hullbreaker Horror. So we know that if you have it on the field, it's basically GG's. Then we are now in a copy strategy, clone strategy at the moment, because we are in this mid-range. I won't say mid-range H, but we're like in this mid-range gameplay. So we're playing a lot of creatures. Opponents playing a lot of creatures to get more value. It's good to have the ability to copy other creatures with less mana. Then we have the Phyrexian Metamorph. You can clone your Urza as well with it. If somebody's gonna target your Urza before it kills it, or you want to have a double one, or you want to have an extra construct, you can play it, make him an Urza. The legendary rule, you're gonna sack him, but you have the construct on the secondary construct on the field as well, which is good. Or you can copy an artifact you need for the Urza combo. Then also a new card for an Aether Drift. Aether Drift, to be fair, is one of the less valuable sets for this year, but it also gives you a little bit cost reduction for the Urza ability to tap it, to give you gains you 2 mana. Then you have the Polyvoke Prodigy. Also, you play a lot of creatures to have a card engine. This lacks a little bit with the Urza. That's what we need to draw fast as possible. Spell Guide, to protect our Urza. Reality Chip is really good to play on top of a library and to have a look in the library. And Valley Flood card, of course. It's almost add-on in each deck if you play blue. My opinion. Sorceries, we only have 3. It's blue, we only play 3 sorceries. It's madman, right? So, Merchant Scroll, so we have that in it. Because you set your blue instant, which means for our infinite card draw engine or card draw engine mana to get infinite mana. So now we have it. We need Easy Concept and Dramatic Reversal. We will get back to that as well if you don't know the combo. Or of course, if you need counter spells to protect your Urza or whatever, or you need Banishing Neck for the Flare the Flood color combo to bounce stuff to create infinite mana. Then, and I think it's a good add-up as well, is Stock Up. It gives you a cost of 3 mana. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order, which is quite good. And Transmute Artifact is also a must add on into this deck because it gives you a really good value to sack something to bring another artifact back to the battlefield, which you're gonna probably need. Well, we got an instance. We have 23 instants, so basically all counters we have to counter. This is what we do in blue. Counter everything as possible we can, but also can protect our commander as good as can. Then what we have here, basically an offer you can refuse, Banish Neck, and Retraction Helix. These 2 cards are very important. You can use that with the combo, with the Valley Flood color combo. If you don't know what does it do, you have Valley Flood color on the battlefield without Summoning Sickness. After it's gonna be your turn, you're gonna flash it in, then it doesn't have Summoning Sickness, then you have a mana rock on the battlefield, which maybe costs 1 CMC, like a Soul Ring, a Mana Vault, whatever. Even the Grim Monolith would work. So, but you have to get mana positive. So you play Vanishing Neck on the Valley Flood color, so it gives you then until end of turn target creature gains return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. What does it mean? You tap the Valley Flood color, you bounce back your Grim Monolith, you tap it first for 3 or for 3 colorless, you bounce it back to your hand. Then what you're gonna do is, if you bounce something back, you're gonna play it. You play the, for example, not Grim Monolith. You have 1 colorless. You play the non-creature spell, which means whenever you cast a non-creature spell, birds, frogs, and otters and rats you control get 1 on end of turn and untap them. So you go into the loop to creating colorless mana. When there's Urza already on the field, you also create colorless blue mana. And also you can, with that, activate Urza infinitely. So basically, yeah, what is a really good add-on is from the new Eternity set is this. I took off Fabricate and I put this instead in. You can play both, but I think 1 is enough. It costs 1 more, but it's an instant instead of a sorcery. One gives you, what does it give you? So, search your library for an artifact card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and then shuffle. return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. So you can choose one or both, which is very good. So I like that add-on. Let's go to artifacts. Of course, artifact deck. It's Urza, so we have all the mana rocks we need. We have Codex Shredder. We have Conqueror's Flail. So all the basic Gravedigger's Cage to stack a little bit if graveyard hates, which doesn't affect us, to be fair. Imposter Mech, as I mentioned, we are in a clone meta again, back to the clone meta, which is good. Then we have the Manifold Key, and the other key as well, Voltaic Key. Then gives us the opportunity to untap another artifact to create a little bit more mana. Then we have Saphir Medallion, is also, if Urza is on the field, your blue spells cost one less, and it taps itself for mana. And I think the Birthing Pot version of blue for artifacts, it's a good add-on as well. So, and basically zero, we're playing to some play of zero. We have Mishra's Bubble, we have the Automate Crypt, so gives you a little bit of extra mana value for those ones. And then we have some enchantments of Rhystic Study, of course, Copy Artifact, I'm gonna go back to that as well soon, Mystic Remola, Mirror Mate, and Copy Artifact. So we want to copy Rhystic Studies if it's all, or Mystic Remola, whatever's on the field. You can copy a enchantment or an artifact with it. Then we're playing 26 lands. The 27th, the MDFC land, is the Instinct to the Stubber, and also like basically we have 9 islands in it, and additional value for Urza Saga. We have Invention's Flare, also gives us to search a library for an artifact, which is good as well. I like that card as well, from his vault as well. It's a very good card. We tap it for 3, discard a card, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of artifacts you control, put one of those cards into your hand, to rest on the bottom, which gives you value to search whatever you need. I don't know what I want to say. Well, then we have City of Traders, of course. We have also an Ancient Tomb, there it is, and then we have also Crystal Vein as well. I think that's it. The sideboard doesn't matter. So, how are we gonna win? So, I don't want to make it too complicated. One Wincon is the Isochron Scepter with Dramatic Reversal. What does it do? If Isochron Scepter is on the field, you have to copy something with CMC2, which is gonna be Dramatic Reversal. You also have to make sure you have enough mana on the field, which means you need at least 3 mana positive, because you have to tap the Isochron Scepter for 2. You can untap your artifacts again, so at least you have to be able to create 3 mana. Of course, if Urza is already out, that makes it more easier with the other stuff. We got the Conqueror Flail, the Flail as well, because first, again, taps for mana, and then we don't have anything else to... It is easier to interfere with Urza, so if it's your turn, we have to try to avoid that. So if it's attached to Urza, for example, over to the construct, our opponents can't cast any spells in our turn. Ability still works, but in the end, better than nothing. So our mana producer, infinite mana producer, also mentioned, was the Valley Flood Caller with the Retraction Helix and the Banishing Neck. But this combo has the same. You can also do it with the Battered Golem. Of course, you need you can have Urza on the field, which you can also, if you tap the Battered Golem. It gives it, because it's an artifact, you get the blue mana. You put the Helix on it. You put it on it. Then you play a Soul Ring, tap it, you untap the Battle Golem again, because you played the artifact in that case. You bounce back the Soul Ring, put the Soul Ring back, you tap it again for blue, playing the Soul Ring again, untaps the Golem, and so on and so on. So this is quite the same combo, so as an additional add-on. You also can search him with Transmit Artifact. For example, you're gonna sack an artifact with him, we're paying for 2. Secondary Unlet, for example, I don't know, you have Graph-Digger's Cage on it, you pay 2 extra, you can put in the golem directly onto the battlefield, which comes handy as well. Also, you can search it for with the Tesseract. You could also -3 put on the battlefield. So this is the way you're gonna make infinite mana. There are other ways around you can work around, but I think this is the main ones, and especially the other one, the one main one, before I forget it. Why I said it's really important is the Forensic Gadgeteer. With Forensic Gadgeteer and Basalt Monolith, you also get infinite colorless mana. You've seen what I mean. So if you have the Gadgeteer on the battlefield, look, there's a camera. So you have the Gadgeteer on the battlefield and you cast the Monolith, right? You tap the Monolith for 3, so you want to untap it, you cost it 3 more. But with the Gadgeteer, it reduces from 3 of 2, so you can untap it for 2, you have 1 mana positive. You're gonna do that again, so you're creating an infinite loop of colorless mana. As well, if Urza is already on the battlefield, you're also creating also infinite blue mana with it. So these are the main ones. You have a backup as well. You can work with the Rings of Brightheart. You can do the combo with the Grim Monolith, for example, to do the activation again. I think, yes, but that costs too much mana, so forget it about it. But it's a backup would work. Yeah. So for example, we have infinite mana. So how we're gonna win? So one way is you create an infinite loop. You create infinite mana. You can infinite Urza, and then activation, and then you want to have Codex Shredder on the field. So why you Codex Shredder? So with Codex Shredder, what you're gonna do is, if Codex Shredder is on the battlefield, you can tap it, or you can mill your opponents away. You think, how should I mill all my opponents away with that? So basically, it is you try and if the easier concept is on the field, you untap the Codex Shredder with the artifacts, and you always untap it, so you're gonna mill your opponents. This is one way to go. The other way is, for example, if the Hull Breaker is on the field, you can bounce back the Codex Shredder back to your hand, put it back in, tap it as well, and you do the infinite time, the same thing. You're gonna mill out your opponent. So with the Gadgeteer, we can create infinite mana, go through our library basically. Cast Urza, play everything we have, make a staging of board. Have it in that case to infinitely cast the Codex Shredder, bounce it back to your hands with the other combos you have, and basically mill out your opponents. You also can do is mill out your opponents and just draw everybody's gonna attack, because that fella costs 4 mana. So if you have infinite mana, you can play him and each player has to draw their cards. There's one option, the other option as well. So yeah, I think the best way is to understand the deck is to do playtesting. So let's go for a few hands. So guys, let's go for the playtest. This looks promising. We can use if you go in second, we're gonna ditch this one, of course, put this one away. Then we can play the island, Lotus Petal. Playing for 1, we can play the Senses Divining Top. See, that's not a bad card, you can keep it. We basically can have, depends what we're gonna draw, give it at least a little bit of stacksiness. You can slow down the game with that, and then you also have the ability to have a look on your first 3 cards, which is good. Let's then take another one. I would go for the second 7. I won't keep this. It's Still too slow. We only have 1 mana. We'll go second 7. Let's go for second 7. Yeah, this is more like it. We can play 1 island. We can play 1 island. Then we can play Soaring. Tap the Soaring to play a mana vault key.
Bruh.
Mana vault key. Then we can play the Mox Opal. And we can pay with the 1 colorless floating. Tap it to untap the Soaring again. And then we can tap the Mox Opal and whatever, and we can merchant scroll. We can look for a blue instant. For the blue instant, let's see what we can have a look for the blue instant, what we can have a look. So there are 2 ways we can use that. We have enough mana to do so. Depends what's on the battlefield afterwards. We can get a snapback. We can get a counter if you need have to counter. So, or already a vanishing back knack, depends what we're gonna draw, but in the end it's a good start to get the Urza out quite fast. Because then in the next turn we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yes, and then we even can play the Consecrated Sphinx, which is really good. That's an amazing hand. So let's go with another hand. So if you first, we won't keep this. If we second, are we keeping this? No, probably still won't keep it. It's still too slow. It's still too slow. Nope, we won't keep that. Let's go to second 7. Second 7. Play the Urza Saga. No, we'll go down to 6. Yeah, still no, down to 5. Yeah, that's good. Down to 5. Again, if you're second, if you're second, then I would still play this land, ditch Strict Serenade, and put that land back down. Oh, sorry, that put back down because we have a color, 2 colors, and then you can sacrifice it and get 2 colors, and at least we can play Urza. Yeah, we can do that. We don't have any hard cards probably in hand anymore, but yeah. Let's try another one. Phew, ooh, we already have this one, but this is slow, very slow. If you first, this is really bad. If you second, we already have 2 mana. We can ditch 1 island. We have 2 lands. We can pop it. Third one, we have to play Banishing Neck. I mean, well, a flop color. Still, yeah. This is also that's not a bad hand. We can play Ancient Tomb. We can play an Ancient Tomb. We have a blue mana anyway here. We can tap it for blue mana as well. We have Chromox. We can put in a Valid Flood Kara or whatever's on the fold. We keep the Mirror Maid to copy Heuristic Study on an artifact enchantment. Go to the last one. Let's try this one. Oh, you can ditch that one definitely right away. Let's go to second 7. I would ditch it. Let's go down to 6. Yeah, we can play that. Yeah, we can definitely play that. Why? Prismatic Risk, you get the island, you play your Soaring, tap the Soaring, put in the Mana Vault key. Mana Vault key, untap it. Untap the Mana Vault key, untap it. Untap the Soaring with the Mana Vault key. Hopefully we get a draw, whatever. On the next round we can already play the Phrex Metamorph. Of course, depends on the situation with the position you are. If something's already out, you can copy it, and then you can play your Urza. So I guess that's it. That's hopefully a short video about Urza. I will put the Moxfield link down in my description. If you like my content, of course, then like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel somehow. I don't know how, but somehow we're gonna get there. So I'm looking forward for your comments. I also will put this video, the link from my YouTube into my primer, so you have that as well. So I wish you all a nice day, and keep it real. Keep it real. Oh hell no, it's already late. I got it bad. Have a good one, guys.